Hi, it's Don Sanders. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today for this webinar that we're going to call Don't Let Obamacare Put You Out of Business, but don't let that title put you off. I'm going to talk to you about how the Affordable Care Act gives you the opportunity to make a good amount of money and for you to prosper over the changes in our healthcare programs. But I'm also going to teach you how to sell the healthcare industry, which is one that you should be focusing on and spending a great deal of time trying to sell. Now, before we get going, I want to let you know that everything I'm going to tell you today is original material from me. As far as the selling tips, etc., I don't copy things from other trainers like some people do. I am still a distributor. I own a sales training website. I started selling promotional products in 1983 when I couldn't get a job. There was a big distributor in Dallas that asked me to sell some orders for him while I looked for a job. My dad and I had bought and sold Caterpillar road machinery. Interest rates got really high in the early 80s, and 18, 19%. So it was hard for us to pay the interest on our loans because the interest was eating whatever profits we could come up with on the tractors that we were selling. So I just started selling some orders for this distributor to make a little money because some money was better than none when you weren't making any money. So that's how I got into this. Since that day until today, I have probably sold more than $25 million worth of promotional products at a pretty high percentage at 43% is what about I think. I am also a speaker at industry shows. I write a lot of articles for publications from I'd say 1994 to maybe 2001. My ex-wife, myself, and three students from SMU sold over $100,000 a month, and that was for 92, 93 months in a row. I still am a distributor. I don't sell as much as I used to, but I do run this sales training website, sellpromoproducts.com, but I am still a distributor. And so my experiences, the industry that I am still dealing with on every day will be part of this webinar. Now, the healthcare industry is the top buyer of promotional products at 12.4%. You can see the other ones: education, financial, manufacturing, and technology. That's very important because healthcare businesses are continual buyers of promotional products, and I don't see the fact that they are buyers. I don't see that fact or that percentage going down in the near future. Some industry facts: 82% of business owners expect an increase in their healthcare premiums. I think it's got to be more than 82%. My healthcare premiums have gone up. I bet yours have too. Another little telling statistic, which is low: 42% of business owners have a clear understanding of how the Affordable Care Act will affect their business. I think there's opportunity there because that means 58% of business owners don't have an idea how to handle the Affordable Care Act. And if you can show them how promotional products will save them money on wellness programs, I think that they will look to you as the go-to person for their marketing programs. California is the leader in healthcare companies with a little bit more than 97,000. Texas, the state that I live in, has almost 55,000. And if you're on Rhode Island, or if you're in Rhode Island, New Hampshire, or Wyoming, and your state's not on there, I don't care if they are or not. You probably, or you do, have thousands of healthcare providers that are prospects where you live too. Now, as far as corporate incentive wellness programs, 95% of companies plan to offer healthcare and programs for their employees. 93% indicate that they are going to expand or maintain that funding for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think that that's ever going to go lower than that, because I think once people figure out that wellness programs or the proper use of promotional products in the healthcare industry will save them money, I don't see them ever cutting their purchases. Now, to deal with healthcare companies, big companies like we used to, I used to do all the name badges for the 4 big hospitals in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I had to have a strong brand presence, and you must have the same too. That means your business card can't just say, I sell thousands of products at the cheapest price, et cetera, because big companies, big hospitals are not going to take you seriously if they just think you're a price seller. You've got to have a brand presence. I use shoes as my brand presence. We'll go into that in a little bit. But those shoes, you can see which one. I guarantee you, I wear those colorful shoes. I do that to make myself stand out, which is kind of what I was going to do as a joke and wear those shoes to a show one time, turned into my marketing image today, because all people do when I see them is ask me about my shoes. And I have met a ton of prospects by making shoes my brand. You need to find something that you brand yourself as to make you unique from other people. Now, there's 6 ways to create branding. 5 of these I use on a daily basis. One I do not ever use as a branding technique, and that is price. If you sell on price, you'll never be successful. If you get known as someone who just sells on price, you'll never be taken for anything more than the cheapest person around. I offer service, reliability. I do a lot of custom work, very creative, and we have personality. If you'll have personality or the 5 of these besides price, you'll be successful too. Of those 5 that I recommend, I focus on personality. I build personal relationships with my prospects, my customers. These 6 photos are all photos that I use in my emails when I communicate with people. I don't care if I am dealing with somebody I've only met 2 times. I'll knock in one of these photos at the bottom of my email looking for a response. If they ask me a question about the photo, I'll just go over one of these. The one at the top left-hand corner is I went to Cuba last June. I've told everybody I know about going to Cuba. People are really fascinated about that place. And from that experience, I've had more people ask me about how to get into Cuba, what I did there, et cetera, et cetera. And I have gotten a ton of orders. Now, another one I'll mention to you, my 2 dogs, Betty and Gracie, down there on the right, they sold me more promotional products than anything. People love dogs. They love to talk about their children, their dogs, their personal life. I choose personality as a way to connect with people. Here's an old photograph I found of me with a creepy looking Santa Claus, which gosh, I don't know how long ago this was, but I found this photo in my parents' house. Instead of throwing it away, I took it up to Walgreens. I made copies of it. And this became my holiday card for 3 years ago, which I sent to people. And I guarantee you, of 100%, let's say of 100% of the people that I sent these to, I bet you 50% either emailed me or called me and said, Don, why would you send us that photo? But it sure is cute. That's what personality does. Now, here's the holiday cloth that I used this year. This is my my holiday greeting. I have these printed by Cloth Promotions. My mother, I think, kept everything that I ever had. There's 6, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos of me as a youthful person growing up with Christmas. And so I took those photos. I sent those to Cloth Promotions. Took my modern shoe photo, which you see there looking into the glasses. Printed these lens cleaning cloths. Warwick made me normal holiday cards, just standard ones like you would use with my name inside. Folded these cloths in half, put them in the card. I mailed them to people. When they open the card, the cloth falls out in their lap. That's personality and that's creativity. I've done this several years in a row, and every year people send me emails asking me if they can get these cloths with their logo or their pictures on them too. I'm just trying to tell you, to build your brand, I use personalities. Now, I do not use regular business cards. I get right to the point. I sell promotional products. So every business card I've had has been a promotional product for the last 24 years. Here are my lens cleaning cloths I get from Cloth Promotions. They're folded up in the little pack up there at the top right-hand corner. When they're unfolded, you can see what they look like. They're 6 by 6. They have some other pairs of my shoes printed on them. Anytime I meet somebody at a chamber function or someone new, they ask me for my card. I volunteer it to them. I take the cloth out of the pouch. I clean their glasses. I clean their iPhone screen, their cell phone, fold it back up, and I just come out and say, you know, why don't we do a couple of hundred of these with your logo on it? I sold 21 orders last year doing this. And I get right to the point. I don't sell printing. I don't want to sell printing. Nothing wrong with selling printing. I'm just not mature enough to sell it. So I get right to the point and I show what I sell. That's one of my cards. Another one is by Warwick. I also use a mini jotter from Warwick. Here shown on the right. That is my shoe image with, I guess would be my personality picture on the back of this piece. It has testimonial marketing slogans from people that what they say about how well we've done business with them. Same kind of pitch, meet somebody, I'll pull out my Warwick pad. show them what I've got. I might write a note in the pad about why we're meeting today, fold it back up, turn right around and say, why don't we do some of these with your logo on it? I sold 11 orders these last year. We might as well just say what we sell and do it in a dignified way, and you'll go a long way to selling your goal by doing that as opposed to having a paper card. Now, I make everything personal. There's Betty and Gracie, my dogs I showed you earlier, just as puppies. I went down and called on the new marketing director at the Hyatt Regency Hotel 5 years ago here in Dallas. They were looking for a new promotional products person. A friend of mine recommended that I call this person. I went down and pitched against four big distributors, much more sophisticated than me. I took about the same products that everybody else did, but the one thing they didn't take was their personality, because I talked to Cynthia Vasquez, the lady that was doing this, about dogs. She liked dogs. She told me about her little puppies. Didn't tell me that much about them, but she asked me all about my dog. So the next morning when I sent her a thank you note, that's exactly the thank you note I sent her. Hi, thank you so much. Betty and Gracie say hi. Doesn't say anything about how great I am, about products. I'm cheaper, I'm this, I'm that. I'm just trying to connect with her, with Betty and Gracie. And there's the email I got back from her. I am good. I got two little puppies, so I'm really happy. As soon as I read that, I knew I had beaten or taken the business away from my competitors that were down there. Because if you'll go through and read that, Lisa loved the Soup Bowl, as our director Paul, et cetera, et cetera. I knew at that point I had her sold. And from that day until last year when I lost the account, Cynthia left. I'm obviously not as good a salesman as I claimed because I couldn't hold the account, but I sold her over $50,000 worth of stuff in 4 years because of Betty and Gracie. Now, back on the lens cleaning cloths, there were the holiday item. I had time to send those out the first week in December. Here's one of my big accounts, sent me this email after he received it. He turned around and bought 1,000 of those cloths. I made about $480 just off of that order because I sent that cloth. He got it. He knew I was trying to thank him or say happy holidays to him. Plus, I got an order out of him. So, to get going on selling healthcare, you need to create lists. I use students to call different entities, hospitals, senior citizens' homes, nursing services. We find out the name of the marketing director. We find out the correct spelling of their name, their title, etc. I used to also make lists from LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile. I've probably got about 900 people on my LinkedIn profiles. I group them in categories by friends, businesses, healthcare, etc. Encourage you to do the same. I create groups in my Facebook account. I use Facebook, LinkedIn. I make sure that I've got people in the right groups. When I create videos, send them stuff, I make sure that it goes to the right people. So creating groups and getting someone to help you build your list is very important. And if you want to proceed in healthcare, you've got to be taken seriously. So I would advise you to get testimonials from your customers. I have testimonial marketing sheets, such as the one that you're seeing here. I've done this long enough that, gosh, somebody's got to have said something good about me sometime. But I keep the good ones and I forget the bad ones. I send these out to people, send this out to people in emails. I also have them printed on 5x8 cards. And when I meet anybody and they question how long I've been in the business or, my competency, I will give them one of these cards. So before we get into selling these big healthcare entities, let's get some testimonials from your customers so you can back up the statements that you're going to make. Now, we're going to go into healthcare buyers. We need to determine who the marketing and human resources buyers are. Maybe also materials management, maybe personnel, or personnel is human resources, but maybe volunteer programs. I've done a lot of business with volunteer coordinators at hospitals. I would then print flyers. I'm going to show you those in a minute. Mail the flyers with a product sample for 3 weeks. Then on the 4th week, instead of mailing another thing, have an intern call and try and get you an appointment. I guarantee you, if you've mailed a product and a flyer 3 weeks in a row and done nothing but sent that, on the 4th week, you're going to get some kind of response. If you do get a response or you don't, you can then email images of what you have, phone and mail again. This is the only way that I know how to get in these big healthcare providers. Now, here's a shot of my lens cleaning cloth and a flyer that Cloth Promotions made for me showing my Don Sanders logo. like what I was telling you about doing the mailing. I would take that flyer, the cloth, address that, put it in an envelope and send it, let's say, to Baton Rouge Memorial Hospital with the marketing director. 3 weeks in a row, they're going to open up the envelope. That cloth's going to fold out. That flyer is going to come out. And they're probably not going to be interested the first couple of times. But the third time around, excuse me, they're going to think, what's up with this? And maybe this is somebody that I need to talk to. Now, here's another sales sheet I had created by Coaster Stone. Coaster Stone is a great self-absorbent product for hospitals. Healthcare providers need to keep spills in check. Coaster Stone made this flyer up for me. I sent them my logo. They create the image, send it back to me in a JPEG. I will burn that on a disk or put it on a flash drive, take it up to the Office Depot, Office Supply, run 400 or 500 copies of these in color. I'll get samples from Coaster Stone, and then I would mail a coaster and this flyer, same kind of pitch as I was telling you about on the lens cleaning cloth. Same thing with GMG pen. GMG makes some nice dual-headed highlighter stylus. Same kind of pitch. That the sheet has my logo on it, mail the highlighter, nice pen, etc. Same kind of pitch over and over and over again. Now, Devara makes antimicrobial position badge reels. Every hospital provider has some kind of badge reel. They have to have those for identification. But I guarantee you, I'll bet you that 75% of them do not have antimicrobial position badge reels. What that means is when you touch the top of this badge reel, it does not transport or transmit germs. It doesn't kill germs. I've gotten in trouble for saying that before, but it keeps the spread of germs intact. Great item. You can get these from Devara, mail the Badger tractor with a flyer like this, same kind of thing with my logo on it. And I guarantee you, when you call about antimicrobial badge reels, that person's going to be interested because they probably are not using them. Here's another flyer from Quickie. I like Quickie. Here's another one they've done for me. Same kind of mailing pitch on their healthcare item. Quickie's a great supplier. Dealt with them forever. They're happy to send you samples. All you have to do is send them a shipper number, and they'll send you just about as many little samples as you want them to or you'd like to have. Now, I follow up with a lot of these by creating an email. Here's on the antimicrobial badge reels. I'm calling them germ-stopping badge attractors. I created this in my PowerPoint, copy that, and I send those in emails. We also try and secure the email of the person we're trying to get a hold of at these big hospitals or these healthcare entities. Just another little follow-up. If I was being very aggressive like I used to be, I might also print this on a 5x8 card and mail it along with the samples. Now, Devara also has a Nurses Safe product. Their rescue whistle is a great item for nurse recruiters or personnel in hospitals. If I blew this whistle, it would blow your eardrums out. It is the most shrill, horrid noise I've ever heard. But the cool thing about it is nurses go in and out of hospitals at night. Those garages are dark. Let's say there's a shift change at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. This would be a great little product for nurses to carry with them. Someone attacks them. There's a lot of sexual assault these days. Great thing for nurses to carry for protection when they have shift change. Though not a healthcare related use, this is also a nice little item to sell to colleges, to student affairs for females who walk around college campuses at night. There's been a lot of sexual assaults on the college campuses, so this is a nice little item for that market as well. Same follow-up email or written card that I was showing you on the antimicrobial badges. Here's one that I created on the whistles. Now, if you want to think pink, Warwick makes splash folders, which you're seeing there up on the right two top right images on the right. These are pink products for Warwick. Healthcare is big into awareness programs. This is another flyer. If you don't have a logo, don't let that stop you. Warwick will typeset flyers with your information on it. You'll see there at the bottom right, Don Sanders Marketing, Don at Don Sanders, marketing.com cell phone. Sent that to Warwick. They sent me the image back just like Coaster Stone did, Devara, etc. Printed these. I'd get samples from Warwick, give the shipper number. Warwick's happy to provide you with samples. I guarantee you, if you mail these repetitively to people that are in breast cancer awareness programs, when you call them on the phone, I think they would pay attention to you. Now, let's talk about understanding the Affordable Care Act and what this has to do with the money that you make. Let's say that there's a 327% return. I've got that title up at the front, on the top of this slide. What that means is there'll be over $2 billion annually spent on wellness programs for healthcare, for employees, more to get employees more productive, et cetera, et cetera. But for every dollar spent on wellness programs, $3.27 is returned. I believe if you read that right, that means for every dollar spent, you get 327 back. That's a 327% return. You talk to customers, new or old, that you'll be able to provide them with that return on their healthcare premium items, promotional products. I think they would all, well, I know they would be interested in talking to you. Now let's talk about wellness coupon programs. I've done a lot of these. What we're doing here is we're going to establish a basis of what we're going to do, and we get a reward for doing something. So here's a coupon redeemable for one of these products, the mug, hat, or t-shirt. Let's say that if we have an injury, or we have a safety program, or we have a wellness program to keep them from being injured, or to keep them well. If they're well for 2 weeks, they get a coupon. If they're safety free, or they're not safety free, if they are safe for 2 weeks, etc., they would turn this coupon in and get a promotional item. I'm happy to talk privately with you about this program, but that's how wellness programs get kicked off. Now here's a particular one, an office exercise program. Here's one where a company has expanded their lunch break from 12 to 1:30. I believe they were doing this once a week. Employees that participate receive coupons. So not only do they get a coupon for a free lunch, so if they'll work out, they get a free lunch, but then they can also turn that in for a free book bag, which is a cool little item that I think most people would like to have. So the reward of a wellness program is doing something and then getting an item for them. You determine the items, you sell them to the company, they disperse them the way that they see fit. Here's one for a stop smoking program. I know my neighbor just stopped smoking. It was a hard thing for him to do. He smoked a long time, but he did. So he could have been motivated by getting a tote bag. Let's say here, if he would have gone 1 month smoke free, he would have gotten a very high quality tote bag. Could have been a lot of other products associated with this. Now let's talk about wellness programs. A magnet company makes wellness magnet companies. Here's 5 wellness tips about eating breakfast, et cetera, et cetera. This would be imprinted with a company logo up where the heart is. Excuse me. A quantity of these would be purchased by a company. They would give everyone that works for a company in one of these wellness program magnets to let them know what is going to happen. Now, here's another wellness tip magnet with 10 different things like change your mindset, eat breakfast, etc. We're focusing on managing stress, number 9, which reduce the negative effects of stress on body. All this is doing is trying to raise awareness to people so they'll be healthier and their health care premiums would go down. This would also be imprinted up where the heart section was. Now, I went back. Let's go forward again. Now, assisted living and hospitals. Let's talk about that. Let's get off these wellness programs a minute. Assisted living and hospitals are great items for playing cards. I cannot recommend Liberty playing card more than anything. I went to the hospital back in May to have a little eye surgery. They put me in a TV room with about 11 channels of bad television. Well, wouldn't it have been cool if they had given me a deck of cards? I could sit there and play solitaire or blackjack with myself. I would have brought those cards back with me and I would have them today. Cards are also a great move-in gift for assisted living and retirement centers. The retirement center leaves a note in the new resident's new unit, thanking them for moving in. I know that my ex-mother-in-law played cards nearly every day, and if you had given Dorothy a deck of playing cards, she would have never thrown them away. Table covers are a big health care market. Add Capital is who I recommend for table covers. They make totally custom table covers. They're great for healthcare. If you're sitting there letting local sign shops and people like that sell your customers table covers, you are making a big mistake. Ad Capital can turn these quickly. They can do them exactly what you want to. These are quality table covers. They come in several different sizes, 3-sided, 4-sided. Do not continue to let sign shops or people that do things like that take your table cover business. A lot of promotional products distributors just don't even think about selling table covers. Here's another little thing for Ad Capital. There are US made tablecloths. Our table covers, there's some pricing that they have a special pricing they had going on for them. They will send you demo swatches if you'd like to have those into the slide. And at the end of the presentation, just let me know and I'll make sure you get these. Ad Capital does a wonderful job. They're a 5-star supplier. I've known them for a long time. The go-to supplier for table covers. Here's another product from Ad Capital. I'm not Ad Capital pitching here today, but this is a Smart Tier shirt. I guarantee you haven't seen this. It is the most effective sweat removal clothing I have ever seen. It's a great item to sell for wellness programs or anybody who has anything to do with workouts in hospitals, etc. Brand new product. It works amazingly. They have the patent on it. They're making them in North Carolina. You want really cool exercise clothing. This Smart Tiers material is just great for healthcare providers. Now, let's talk about badge programs. Back in the day when we sold a lot of promotional products in the healthcare industry, I did name badges for the 4 largest hospitals in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Nothing was better. If I'd had a bad day, we didn't sell much, I'd had an order go bad, and I would get a fax. Yes, back then there were faxes, and it would be a 4,000-piece reorder from Harris Methodist Health System. All I had to do is pull up the old order, re-enter it, and I would make myself about $5,000. We were making about $1.25 off of those badges. ID Line is who I recommend for badges. There's 3 of their healthcare choices right there. These can have, there's a window badge, there's one that can have a take imprint put on it, or ID Line will put the names on the badges for you in a continuity program. Here's a flyer that they've done for me on name badges. Could be another good thing to mail to human resource managers who might be looking for a new name badge provider or someone to do a little bit better quality badge to them. Same kind of pitch we went to before on the badge retractors. His cleaning cloth, mail this flyer with a sample of the badge to the human resources director over and over again, and then call for the appointment to try and get in. Now, here's the badge release program information from ID Line. Back in the day, we had to fax in our orders, but today, whenever I sell badges, let's say I sell 150 of them, and 75 are used immediately, well, then the other 75 are kept by ID Line. I've already charged the customers for them. Customer emails me the list of names. Let's say they need 5 badges next week. I just go to a URL that ID Line has provided for me. I will enter the name. They're shipped directly to the customer, and I don't have to do anything. Easiest program in the world. ID Line's badge release program is nice if you want to turn some business and do it quick. ID badges from ID Line. Here's visitors badges. Every hospital has visitors. They buy these. These would be go on a lanyard or would go on a retractor. And here's also another type of badge for the Director of Human Resources that would go on the retractor. ID Line is really good at this. They imprint these in full color. Cannot recommend them enough. If this is over, when this is over, send me an email and I'll get you a badge sample kit from ID Line. Now, My Line, cannot say enough good things about My Line. Owned by Phi. They are great into wellness programs. This flyer based on cooking, people trying to provide their own food to stay healthier and not eat out so much. These are all products that can be sold for wellness programs, such as a citrus peeler, an egg separator, that world's best kitchen cutter. That's really called the world's best pizza cutter, but that thing will also cut salad, bread, and all kinds of things. So in this flyer, we're calling it a kitchen cutter, but actually it's the best pizza cutter in the world. Those are all little items for My Line, including a pill box, which is a great thing to give to people. If those were given to employees of the company, I guarantee you they would keep them and be grateful for having them. Every 8 minutes, pedestrian is struck by a car. One is killed every 100 minutes. The ultimate wellness program is not getting hurt in the first place. So safety programs by Reflectix, another Phi company, glow-in-the-dark shoes, shoelaces, the glow-in-the-dark stickers, and the wristbands. Great thing for people to wear when they're out walking their dogs or exercising early in the morning or late at night, especially in the wintertime when the sun goes down. A lot of people exercise, it's dark outside. Keep those facts in mind when you talk to your customers about the ultimate wellness is not getting hurt in the first place. Children's hospitals are a great prospect for promotional items. Quickie, I'm going to talk about them again. These are some cute, darling little soft fob feel key tags that are pliable, that are sold to the Holtz Children's Hospital. Kids would love to put those on their backpacks. Adults would love to have their keys on them. Think about these cute products and think about children's hospitals for your market. American Zebra is a top supplier of non-spillable products. I've got two no-spill products up here, a Stadium cup with a straw and a Bolero cup with a lid in the straw. When I went to the hospital, they gave me, for my surgery, they gave me a styrofoam cup and some water. Wouldn't it have been cool if when I went out the door, they handed me a cup? I would have drank that water on the way home because everybody's thirsty when they leave the hospital. American Zebra makes great Stadium plastic cups. Put those lids and straws on them. They're a no-spill product. Same thing with the Bolero item. Keep spills in checks. Now, let's talk about bottled water for hospitals. Alexis Springs is who I recommend for bottled water. They do several different bottle types, and they do a lot of healthcare provider water. This is a great item, just like when I told you when I went in, if they'd given me a bottle of water, I would have taken that home with me and would have been oh so grateful. Now let's talk about the water you sell to hospitals. Alexis Springs is pure spring water. 90% of the water that comes from these other suppliers is reconstituted water from a city water service, which means most of the minerals have been blasted out of it. It's run through clay pipes. And I'm not trying to be gross, but at one time that water could have been sewer water. Alexis Springs comes from two springs. One is in Oregon, one is in Arkansas. Their water is pure spring water and their minerals are intact. That little 12-ounce bottle right there is very handy to carry around. And besides hospitals or healthcare providers, great little item to sell to walks and fitness runs. Now, nursing and rehabilitation facilities buy a lot of promotional products. Trainter does a great deal of paper products. There's some napkins, which are an easy sale for most healthcare providers when they have catered events. They have people in or in a hospital when they serve food, etc. It'd be a nice little item when they serve people delicacies or food where there needs to be cleanup. Trainer also has eco health items, which are good for the environment. This plate for Simmons is an example of a plate that I used to sell to Parkwood Healthcare. My ex-mother-in-law, every month, my ex-wife would go over and pick her up, take her to have barbecue. Parkwood had these plates printed with their logo on it. They would put the plate in there, a little packet that Trainer made, which had cups, glasses, etc. My ex-spouse would take her barbecue ribs. Parkwood would give them the plates and off they'd go. Great little thank you gift and one that Parkwood used to promote themselves. Lynn's Cleaning Cloths. Here's one that I sold to Parkwood. Great item for both of these markets. This is an advertisement for Parkwood showing you what they do, their local ownership, no community fee. And there's 3 images of what Parkwood looks like. This company does the same thing I do when they meet somebody. Whip that cloth out and show them exactly what they do. Cause marketing is a lot to do, has a lot to do with healthcare market. Quickie does cause marketing products. That pink luggage tag is pliable, comes in a bunch of different colors. I really like that neon play pink, and their little pulp board coasters come in full color. Nice little item to give to people who walk and run in events. Key tag marketing by Quickie. I know you all have these on your grocery, or your grocery store, or your Walgreens, or whoever it is, drugstore. I know you have these on your key tags. Teledoc service is a big thing where people are now accessing doctors online. This little product is a great way for people to remember the website or the phone number they call in. These are made by Quickie, so if you're not dealing with Teledoc companies, you should start thinking about that because Quickie is already doing that for you. Logo mats are a big business in the healthcare industry. All hospitals have outdoor mats. Retirement homes have to have mats at their front doors to stabilize wheelchairs and walkers when people come into a retirement home. I've also sold mats to go in front of elevators to steady people when they walk with a walker on an elevator. And I've even sold mats for the interior of elevators so people don't slide around inside elevators. Now, Devon is who I recommend for mats. I've known them forever. They're a family-owned company that will never let you down on their mat orders. Here's a mat I did for a retirement home. They are happy to do specs for you or to do virtuals for you. And if you're not selling mats to the healthcare industry, you should be out there and do it. Now, we're almost finished. I'm saying being a tuber. Now, I'm talking about, here's a screenshot of a little YouTube I did on baseball Frios, which really doesn't have much to do with the hospital industry. But if I can do this webinar online like this, then you can make your own YouTube videos. I film these at my iMac, download them, enter the image, create these, download them on YouTube, get the link, and I send these to people that I want to do business with. If I can get them to watch it, I can track who's watched it, and then I know if I've got a prospect. Now, I want to thank you for listening. Here's how to contact me. There's my little shoe image on the left with me looking in my funny looking shoes. There is my cell phone. There is my email, my website. If you would like to have any of the samples we've talked about today, I am more than happy to provide them for you. Most of y'all know me. If I can ever help you in the future, please contact me. And I want to thank you for listening. And please, please have the rest of your day be great. Thanks.